Welcome to your magic moon message, ladies and gentlemen. I am in Sin City, and the sun is not trying to burn me alive right now. I guess we're in fall right now. That's what's up. Oh, God. All right. So the moon is in Pisces. It's going to transit Saturn and the North Node. Eventually, Neptune's going to retrograde back into Pisces. See that construction? We moving. We building. Oh, I wonder what they're building. Whew, imagine what Vegas is going to look like the rest of the decade. It's going to be wild. We are kicking in the Virgo signature. If we do a lineup of aspects, the moon was in Libra, opposite Neptune in Aries. Then it was in Scorpio, trine Jupiter in Cancer. Then it was in Sagittarius, opposite Uranus in Gemini. Then it was in Capricorn, opposite Jupiter in Cancer. And of course, square the Libra sun. That was our first quarter square. The seeds we planted during the new moon broke through the ground. Then we had the moon in Aquarius, conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. Okay. And the extreme unlayering, I would say, of deeper nuances. Let me not say deeper, but more nuances that give us a more extraordinary, knowledgeable understanding of how to creatively express our social awareness, our interpersonal relationship dynamics and actions, in understanding the knowledge of this full creativity and really what we can do now that through moon in Capricorn, we've balanced this lawful expression with order, right? We understood what actions of integrity support these social relationship actions. Well, now we're applying this knowledge, the programming knowledge of course, Aquarius into Pisces, which is going to produce the experience of tying together everything that we've activated since the new moon at the end of Virgo, mind you. So it wasn't a proper new moon in Libra. That's going to be at like 26 degrees. But this is really cool. The new moon, 29 degrees Virgo, 28, 29 degrees Virgo, opposite Saturn in Pisces, remember, was activating this mastery of behavioral patterns that completely harvest and directly align with our belief systems that we've spent 2.5 years since 2023 developing, stretching out, activating, integrating, harvesting, completing. So now that the moon is back around in Pisces, we are revisiting, now that we, over the past 2 weeks, have applied how exactly we demonstrate these changes in our behavior relative to who we are connecting with, whether ourselves or with others. Now we're coming back around to feel how our beliefs are going to shift in alignment with our social actions and, once again, our belief systems. Because Pisces is the 6th house of lifestyle to Libra, right? Pisces being the dream, we call this the dream life. Because the North Node is in Pisces. Something that'll be relevant to you, especially if you're born 88 or 89, which means you're going through a nodal return. Or, of course, if you were born like 97 with the North Node Virgo, and then other previous iterations of this. Because the North Node is involved with Saturn, the North Node in Pisces is now making this an unlocking of your dream life. This is even more true if you are a Libra rising. Libra sun and moon too, but for sure Libra rising. And then because Saturn is involved, this is a total unlocking of your dream life. Okay, so rest assured, relative to what you have begun to break through before we actually go into the full moon and actually break through, you have effectively now will experience over the next day and a half a change of experience. Sorry, a change of belief. So you're going to experience your beliefs shift and change, the understanding of how your beliefs support what actions you have been activating and integrating. And of course, with the influence of the nodes and Saturn's testing, this is going to adjust your perspective so that you can begin to experience how your dream life functions, looks like, feels. All right. And then you're going to apply that when the moon goes into Aries relative to who you feel you are and what actions you're going to be taking as far as understanding the authenticity needed to move forward, if that makes any sense. So we had the new moon in Virgo that slipped into Libra. We cardinally activated that. Then we manifested the energy in Scorpio. And after Libra, Scorpio, we produced the perspective and the effect in Sagittarius. Then we integrated the potency again, power square power, Cap square Libra. Then we strengthened the knowledgeable celestial quality through Aquarius. Now in Pisces, boom, we're producing the effect. So I gave you the fan effect, showing you the power and the energy. That's more like a Gemini one, but it still will do power, energy, effect, mutable magic, right? If we want to look at Aquarius to Pisces, right? Capricorn is the hardware that we began to integrate. And then Aquarius is the programming of this hardware. Pluto, Trine, Uranus, and Gemini is now updating the innovative quality of this programming, updating the language entirely. That's why this period is so unique. We're operating off of completely new programming languages. We're updating. Imagine a tech place where now they no longer use a certain programming language. They've completely upgraded it over the past year, and we're going to start to put all our machines with this new programming language over the next 20 years. And of course, update and innovate that with updates. But yeah, with that being said, now the knowledge with which we're creatively programming in Libra, having fun with, now we're going to understand how to adjust this programming. Because when you program input, then now you're going to experience the output. You program lines into a script, and then you execute the program, and then you experience what that does. So the moon in Pisces is going to have us adjust and edit how it is, the knowledge with which we're programming, the behavior with which we exemplify and demonstrate while we're with other people, while we're breaking through this 6-month plus development of our mindset, of our identity, of our belief system since the eclipse in Pisces season back in March, blah, 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 astrological jargon, yada, yada, yada. Then what this is doing, right, is now that you are going to pretty much be experiencing this full-on integration Virgo signature in Pisces, that's going to tie together everything that you have been seeing in Sagittarius and analyzing with that new moon in Virgo. So prepare for breakthrough. Pisces is going to metaphysically, like a Hellzone grenade, tie together quite literally everything possible to believe in order to support what it is you're tying together, what it is you're making this full-on sense of, and how specifically you're in this position, once again, to realistically, break through once we come into next week. And that's really what's going to, powerfully push forward everything up until now. Since the eclipse in March, and this year we activated the Pluto, sun Pluto for the first time, really. If not 24, we activated the sun Pluto really in January. Then we had that final eclipse in March. Okay, so relative to that final eclipse, Saturn and Neptune by June, July, went into Aries, retrograded back into Pisces. So everything up until now that we've done was we've activated this 30-year, 165-year, 248-year cycle, right? That is very historic. Civil War with Neptune, World War II with Uranus. We've activated everything that we believe we are developing all of our belief systems over the next 6 months up until September. We took action in Aries in April to now apply these beliefs as authentically as we can. We grounded it in Taurus, and with the final Sun-Uranus conjunction at 28 degrees at the end of Taurus season, we activated this final sense of innovation of our worth and value. If you do not believe you are worth infinity, you're not crazy enough. So you have to really go back within and ask yourself why your sense of worth is not as radical as to believe that you are worth infinity. Chances are you are appealing to a false authority, and you are allowing said authority to define what value is based solely on physical means and assets. All right, this has to sound retarded as fuck to you, especially in a room of appraisers who are not hearing that shit. They just want physical assets because that's how the world functions. So Uranus and Taurus are saying, cool, you can believe that. Or you can invest in Bitcoin back in 2012 when no one thought that was worth anything, and you can actually be rich. You know what I'm saying? You could dare to actually have the audacity to carry yourself as if your net worth is infinity. It's going to be easy for people to be reasonable. It's you innovative geniuses that will lead forward and who don't give a fuck about how you look because you know you got it inside. Cool. And don't worry, you're going to be able to put into words the rest of the decade, Uranus and Gemini. This is just about having the unmitigated gall to take that first step and to really cool. And that's going to look like investing in yourself, investing in certain products that look small, that may not, or finalizing the pieces. Cool. Then we went into Gemini season. We finished Jupiter going through Gemini, expanding this programming, evolving the programming language, evolving our mindset. Gemini season served as a checkpoint relative to that eclipse in Pisces to now evolve the mindset and thought process that support our belief in ourselves and our beliefs. Okay? So relative to that, after we began to change our ideas, which have leveled up to support the beliefs that we have about ourselves and what we want to accomplish, we directed those thoughts through Cancer, activated this new Sun-Jupiter Cancer cycle, and now began the process of aligning our feelings with our belief systems. We strengthened the courage of that in Leo season, with the Sun opposite Pluto in Aquarius, which for the first time in 248 years, yes, began to actually harvest a proper Sun-Pluto Aquarius activation we did back in January. So the Leo opposition to Pluto was where we began to break through a supernatural quality of energy and strength relative to now what supernatural quality of talents we're performing on stage. And now Virgo season is where we, tied all of that together realistically. It's where we now really formed behavioral patterns that take into account everything we believed and keyword how it is we prepare to demonstrate it, how this has now begun to break through and harvest in our behavior. And that's why this Libra season is very important, because this is the first of 3 breakthrough seasons. Everything up until now was sowing the seeds, and then by Gemini season, integrating those seeds, seeing those seeds break through the ground. And now the next 3 months is pure harvest at very intense quality. By Scorpio season, like with Mars squaring Pluto, we're going to complete that first Pluto go-around we've done before we do 19 more. And this is where now, coming through the full moon in Aries, you're going to start to really push forward, see forward development, see breakthrough in a way that doesn't only account for the 2 weeks since the new moon, but the 6 months since last Pisces and Aries season. Okay? And that's a lot to look forward to. So really, be as Delulu as possible. And if you are living your dream life, what would you be doing? What would that feel like? Who would you be connecting with? Don't necessarily wait for external validation or proof in order to feel like you have it now. Be that. The only difference between a muggle and a magician is that a muggle needs permission from authority outside of themselves. The magician is that authority. They say this is what it is, and then they be that, and then it forms around them. It's not even like a belief thing or not. It's a word thing. I didn't realize Carl Jung said this, because any real one would say this. I don't believe in God. I know that nigga. Quote unquote. That's what he said, because Carl Jung is a real nigga. So with that being said, I don't believe in God. I know God. Okay, so with that being said, why that's very significant is, are you walking forward in just some blind belief of hoping things are coming, or in the knowledge that, you know, you're co-creating real time? You can, especially with a transit like Pisces, which the moon in Pisces will be trining Jupiter in Cancer. That's going to be trining Mars in Scorpio. So this is going to give us a really good divine water trine that will have us feel the triplicity of how we are adjusting our beliefs, how those beliefs with Jupiter and Cancer expand what accomplishments we can feel with the right people, and then how we intensify that with Mars and Scorpio, deepening our desire to now transform this intensity, which will go back to just our beliefs. So this is the precipice upon which everything that will adjust in your beliefs, you'll apply with the full moon and feel more of who you are, and how you bring that authenticity towards others. We'll talk about that in the next Magic Moon message. But really take stock, because now, after this week, we're going to be concluding and harvesting cycles upon cycles. And that's what's going to feel like maybe things that didn't seem like they were working before were actually working all the time, but you're going to notice it more. And that could look like things falling apart. So just be mindful of that. This is a faith test. Saturn in Pisces is still testing your belief. And Saturn is not pleased that some of you only believe when the times are good, right? I'm not saying to just have faith through the bad times. Do what you have to do. Cover your bases. But know you're being tested. Don't let just because things don't look like the way you believe they're supposed to look, that things are not working out for you and you can't make adjustments and you can't still maintain that belief. A lot of people are weak-minded. They need to have validation and proof in order to feel confident about themselves. We're in the second round of the Hunger Games. You will get killed that way. I'm not here to coddle you. I'm not here to give you this spiritual gaslighting, love and light message. It's a war outside. We are still gripped within cultural warfare, spiritual warfare, actual warfare. This type of well-meaning, pacifying coddle talk will get you murdered. So you really have to ask yourself, why are you still telling yourself you can't have what you desire? And what excuses are you making in order to be the reason why certain things you want to work out aren't working out, when you're the solution, you're the question and the answer? There is a world within you, and there's nothing you have to do but just be that. If you do mistakes, it's still going to work out for you. If you do it the right way, it's still going to work out for you. It's your awareness and consciousness. I used to hate hearing that shit my whole life because it just sounded corny to me. What the fuck do you mean it's my consciousness? What do you mean I just have to be? What do I do? Nothing. Just be. Then do. Then have. So with that being said, okay, congratulations. The moon in Pisces, once again, going through the North Node will align with what you're meant to believe and how you integrate it, and then test when the moon goes over Saturn whether you can maintain integrity of those beliefs, understanding the discipline and integrity that will be needed to maintain these beliefs, because you're also going to be revealed very, very deep insight and powerful insight that will require responsibility to maintain, even if no one else believes this about you. And you're going to demonstrate it too and have more evidence, at least subconsciously and personally, all right, and subjectively. But we will bridge the subjective with the objective. So allow yourself to be in your imagination. Allow yourself to really imagine and be in the state of how you would be living your life if it was your dream life, right? And even if you're just thinking as that's more than enough. And you should be good, okay? Other than that, Venus is still now on the other side of the South Node, 9 of Pentacles in Tarot. It's going to be sorting and polishing how we've developed our habits, which I think will also really enrich in more potential to come into wealth. But other than that, I'll catch you guys on the full moon. And until next time, peace.